This is my book review of The Roundhouse. Alrighty. The novel is set in a North Dakota Ojibwe reservation during the late 1980s. The narrator, 13-year-old Joe Couts, is the only child of Geraldine and Basil Couts, who is the tribe's tribal judge. Their world is rocked when Geraldine is raped and left traumatized, leaving Joe and his father to try and find the perpetrator. The answers Joe seeks lie in the Roundhouse, the tribe's house of worship, and the scenes of the crime. I really love this book. It gives the reader insight into the lives of Native Americans and reservation life in particular. Erdrich, the author of this novel, is a fabulous storyteller who is able to communicate through the eyes and the heart of a young 13-year-old boy named Joe. Man, oh man, was this a page-turner. It was fantastic. I was able to relate to the events Joe is experiencing as a maturing young teenager who is starting to gain a greater understanding of how adulthood works. The middle of the novel was kind of slow, and it showed Joe's frustration caused by the slow progress in the solving of the case of the raping of his mother. I can also relate to this because when I was a young teenager, I experienced a time in my life where nothing really happened, and it was kind of at a standstill. And that really showed in the middle of the novel. And it was kind of slow to read, but it ended up speeding up at the end. So it's still a good read. On a more serious note, sexual assault is a very sensitive issue in today's society. And I feel like it was a very appropriate time to read and analyze this book. I also found a theme in this novel of the trauma theory. I applied the trauma theory to this novel. Geraldine's rape stands out as a traumatic event. After the rape, she spends all of her time just sleeping, and when her family attempts to help and communicate with her, she pretends to sleep so they won't even talk to her. These are all defense mechanisms she uses to protect herself from having to talk about the internal damage caused by being raped. I also looked up or researched raping statistics today, and it said Native American women and Alaska Native women are 2.5 times more likely to be raped or sexually assaulted than other women in the U.S. And that is a horrible number. This book also exposes the loopholes in the justice system. Native American tribal law enforcement is underfunded, so oftentimes they don't have the resources to help protect as well as outside the reservation. Overall, I thought it was a great book to read, and I highly recommend reading it. Have fun turning those pages.